Chapter 1, The New Naruto. My name is Naruto Aizen Namikaze. I am the son of the 4th Hokage Minato Namikaze, formerly known as the Yellow Flash of Konoha, and Kushina Uzumaki, also known as the Red Hot-Blooded Habanero. I also hold the Kyuubi no Yoko, the strongest demon out of the 8 other Bijuu. My life was not been that great, especially when I was kid. Being called Demon Brat for some strange reason, accompanied with glares and whispers, scourging through garbages just to fill my stomach just so I don't succumb to death due to starvation. I can also remember being beat to death on many occasions. As I said, my life was not as glamorous as it is now. I am now the Uzukage of the village of Uzushiagakyur, a village that was once destroyed to be left in ruins. This was a village that I built by myself to topple any of the other village and to be more so supreme than Konoha. Not only that, but I have many beautiful wives that kept me sane within the village, women I fell in love with and share equal love with. I couldn't ask for anything better in my life. That's all I have really ever wanted, to be loved and recognized. But none of this would have ever happened if I wouldn't have met my beautiful sword along with this mysterious orb known as the Hagioku, along with a man I felt like I could call my father at the time. Sosuke Aizen, a man that was once a Shinigami for a place called the Soul Society, but decided to betray them all for his lust of being a god. He was eventually defeated and was sealed and then put in a prison. But being in prison gave him time to think about his actions. This also theoretically sealed the Hagioku within him, silently waiting for its successor. His sword or Zanpakuto, which he gave to me, is named Kyoka Sugestu, Mirror Flower, Water Moon, an ordinary blade with an ordinary appearance, yet in terms of its skill is nothing short of beautiful. Complete hypnosis over a person's 5 senses by just a glance of the blade. Flawless, truly remarkable. Life is good now. I am also the most powerful shinobi in all of the elemental nations, given the first triple S rank, which states to flee upon recognizing me, like they have a chance to flee anyways. This is my story of how I started from the bottom, then made it to the top. Come, and I will share this journey that I have been through with you. Here is my story. Love and recognition. 2 words I have been striving attain for in my whole existence. But yet, these 2 words have always been denied to me. Why? I'm not completely sure, but I do hear people calling me Demon Brat and glaring and whispering dirty things about me. Here I am again, in an alley looking for food. God, this stinks. I'm so hungry, please let there be something in here. Aha! An unfinished stick of dongo. This should do for now, I rejoiced. As I went to take a bite into the dongo, I hear steps and low chatter approach me. Shit, I thought, already knowing what is going to happen. A man with a Jonin flask jacket and some chunin along with civilians corner me within the alley. The Jonin steps out. Now you are done for, demon. We will finally get rid of you. You caused this village many deaths many years ago, so now we will put an end to you and avenge our loved ones. Fight or flight, this is what my mind was signaling me. My mind is telling me to run, and get away from these people, and so I did. But where do I go? Running, I come across something. Is that a small space leading out of the alley? Screw it, it's my only way out. I dashed towards the space soon after they started charging with kunes and shurikens in hand. My heart palpitating, I'm almost there. Squelch. I screamed. Damn it, I got hit. I don't even know where I'm going. Wait, is that a forest? Maybe I can lose them in there. Worth a shot. I jumped over the fence and started to run without a destination, deeper into the forest. All the Jonins, Chunins and civilians stopped. Hey, what's the matter? Let's go get the demon, yelled a civilian to the Jonin. The Jonin spoke up. You must be crazy. This is the forest of death. Most Anbu think twice before entering here. Plus he's injured since I'm pretty sure I nailed him, so if he doesn't die of bleeding out, the forest will finish him off. Let's go. What they didn't know is the demon child was about to rock the village of Konoha. Hokage's office. The Sandaime Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, nicknamed the god of shinobi, a man who had survived 2 wars and mastered at least 1,000 jutsus, was now sitting on his butt signing through paperwork, customary to his position. Damn, my life has been consumed by these damn papers. Who the hell thought it would be good idea to make paper in the first place? Damn you, paperwork. He stopped and sat up and looked at the picture on his wall in front of him. It showed 3 figures he used to talk to a lot. It showed a tall blonde man beside a woman with red hair and another tall man with long white hair holding a baby. That baby was none other than Naruto. The Sandaime always looked at Naruto as his adopted grandson growing up. He felt sad since he hasn't been able to visit him in a while. Maybe I should take him out to eat tomorrow, he thought. Suddenly an Anbu appears in front of the Sandaime, bowed, a dog mask on his face, with gray gravity-defying hair. Hokage-sama, I overheard a few civilians in the bar talking about Naruto and how they cornered him in the alley and chased him into the forest of death for him to bleed out and die there. As soon as those words left Kakashi's mouth, an insane amount of killing intent was being felt in the office and throughout the village, to where all the Anbu present in the shadows in the office fell to their knees by the large amount being exhibited by the god of shinobi. Kakashi, I want you to take 1 unit and capture all the ones responsible and send them to Ibiki. The others here will come with me and we will find him. Move. Immediately all Anbu shunned out of his office. The amount of killing intent was insane. May God help those who did this to Naruto, Kakashi thought as he went to go gather a unit. With Naruto. Naruto found himself slowing down now. Blood was on the ground, and he was holding his shoulder. Looks like I lost them. Good. Not to find a place to res. OMFPH. OWW my head, Naruto moaned as he felt his back on the ground. He slowly stands up and sees he is in some kind of underground cavern. Looking up he sees the hole he fell into. He all of a sudden feels a pull, like some type of force is pulling him to walk towards a specific direction. He continues on forward, barely being able to see anything in the caverns until he finds a rusty door. He looks at it closely and begins to rub it with his fingers. Wow, this door looks really old. I wonder what's inside. Well, I'm not going to know until I push it, he said. As soon as he places his hand on the rusted door, he gets shocked and faints, but before he could fully close his eyes and sleep, he notices a faint power coursing through him. Mindscape. OWW my head hurts twice as much now. Where the hell am I now? He stands up and looks around and finds himself in place that just occupied nothingness, except the color white which was everywhere. Am I heaven? Naruto thought out loud. No, you are not, young one, a voice says. He spins around, almost breaking his neck, and sees this man with brown hair, his hair slicked back with one long strand gently resting in the front. He stood at 6'3" wearing white clothes with a white-like cape reaching his feet. He had hands in his pocket and to Naruto had an alarmingly calm and dangerous aura about him. Who are you? Naruto shouts. The man's mouth took a slight smile and says, I am Sosuke Aizen, my child. Naruto just looks at him, takes a deep breath and says, Okay Aizen-san, what the hell am I doing here? Why the hell are you here? What the hell is this place? What the hell was that door I touched? And what the hell just shocked me before I fainted? Shouted Naruto in pure hysteria. Aizen looks at him, and the first time in a while an amused smirk graced his face. Ah yes, let me answer those first 3 questions. You are here because you touched the door that I was sealed in. That door you touched was my prison, and what shocked you was the seal's energy. It's interesting as it seemed it allowed to meet in your mindscape, Aizen said. Naruto scratched his head, relieved he got some information. Okay, that answers that, but why am I here? And what are you? From the looks of the door it looks to be at least 100 years old, so in that case you should be dead, Naruto said. Aizen slightly went wide-eyed at his intelligent response, and composed himself and spoke. How very astute of you, Naruto-kun. To answer your question, I am an ex-Shinigami. As soon as he said that, Aizen was not able to continue as Naruto freaked out and yelled, "Oh my god, am I dead? Kami-sama has come to take my soul," he yelled hysterically. Naruto-kun, Aizen said in a calm yet stern, eerie voice that got him to stop. "Before I was interrupted by your unnecessary outburst, I was about to explain. Like I said, this is your mindscape. It's a surprise you're even able to see me. As for me, I am past 100 years of age, and no, I am not Kami. Shinigami are the ones that hold order of spirits when they die and go to the Soul Society." Aizen went on to explaining the basics of what Shinigami are, and told him about his time being one. He also told Naruto his eventual demise by a man named Kurosaki Ichigo, and how he was sealed and thrown in prison, and how he recently became one with Hagioku, more of a soul though. It was then Naruto asked a question. "So this is your prison then?" Naruto asked, to which Aizen nodded. "But how were you able to escape Soul Society? I thought your prison would be up there, not Konoha," Naruto asked curiously. Aizen smiled as he seemed to be enjoying the well-thought questions he was asking. "For a kid anyways. I will tell you in a bit. Let me continue my story." Aizen then explained his motive and how he was young and naive and wanted to gain power and be known as a god throughout the heavens and earth. As he finished, Aizen's calm aura suddenly disappeared into a sad and remorseful one, since he was reminiscing about the story. Naruto noticed this and decided, even though he committed evil in his time, he saw the way he looked, and thought that his imprisonment really did change him. Not only that, but he had to admit he was impressed with his ability to take on these so-called captains without any problems. Naruto broke the silence. "Aizen-san, although I don't approve of what you did with your past, it seems you really thought about your mistakes and feel regretful. I do not hold the past against you, for it is what we do with our future that determines what type of character we are in the end." Aizen, for the second time today, became slightly wide-eyed and spoke. "Naruto-kun, such a mature thought for someone your age, and to only think you are still this small. Why is that, Naruto-kun?" Naruto's face took a slight frown and looked at Aizen's eyes with his own that showed Aizen eyes of someone who has seen pain and death constantly. Naruto took a big deep breath and huffed. "Aizen-san, the way my life has been, forced me to grow up and mature faster. Sometimes I wish that I was still naive to world like all the kids around my age," Naruto said. Aizen frowned though upon hearing this. "Naruto-kun, come here. You asked me how I was able to end up here when I was imprisoned in Soul Society, correct?" Aizen asked while Naruto nodded. Aizen lifted his palm facing upwards as a small purple came from his body and began to float above it. "This little ball is the Hagioku. Its power is unimaginable, as it was an additional source to my own power." Naruto was shocked, to say the least. This tiny little ball was the source of this man's power who fought other Shinigamis? It must have been something else. Aizen saw the shocked look on his face and smiled as he asked him a question. "Naruto-kun, if you were to have power, and you were capable of being the strongest shinobi on this planet, what would you do with that power?" Naruto looked up and spoke without hesitation. "I would protect those who aim to harm me and anyone close to me, like Hokage, you Aizen-san, and any future friends. Anyone that would oppose me I will destroy. I will also build a village of my own so I could live in peace." Aizen smiled. A true smile, knowing him and this boy will become real friends. He pulls out the familiar purple-looking orb in his hand and said, "Naruto-kun, if you want to be free of all the beatings and mistreatment and want to become strong and protect those who mean the most to you, then take this orb." Naruto looks at it in awe and says, "Aizen-san, what would this orb give me?" Naruto spoke slightly hesitant. "This orb will give you an extreme increase in speed and strength. Not only that, but you will have my famed Zanpakuto, and lastly I will merge with you since I am part of the Hagioku." Aizen spoke. Naruto looked at him and said, "So when we merge, will I be able to come here and talk to you again?" "Yes, Naruto-kun, but only until you have gotten a hold of my past skills, especially with and without my Zanpakuto. But after that my spirit will fade and will be absorbed into the Hagioku due to you being the new owner. Aizen spoke. With a slight frown which turned into a slight smile, Naruto said with much vigor. Well, I will make you proud, Aizen-san. With the abilities you will give me, I will change the world. Come high or come low, I will be the greatest shinobi to your testament. And Hokage Jiji, once again Aizen smiled a true smile and said. Well, Naruto-kun, we have a long way ahead of us. So once you absorb the Hagioku we will merge and you will get my skills, but we will have to work on them to make them perfect. Absorbing this will hurt and you will feel pain like never before. After, you will wake up and it should be in time for when your Hokage Jiji gets to you, since this should alert him. Are you sure you want this, Naruto-kun? Aizen finished. Naruto without hesitation said. Let's do this to Tebeo. Naruto took the orb from his hands and the orb slowly floated up then smashed towards his chest. Naruto looks over himself. Aizen-san, I thought you said I was supposed to experience pain I've never felt before. Aizen smirks and at an instant Naruto was screaming for dear life. As Naruto is moving around in pain on the floor, the mindscape starts to diminish, and with that, Aizen began to think about his experience of meeting Naruto. This boy, he will become someone great. I know it. I can see the potential, and if I train him right he should be able to surpass me. This boy is very interesting indeed. No matter, I will turn him into something shinobis and shinigamis fear alike. Moments later Naruto woke up in the same forest he was in before he fell in the hole. Ow, my goddamn head, why is it always me head? Why can it be any other body part? As soon as he stood up he immediately noticed the difference within his power and himself. Is this what it feels like to absorb the Hagioku? Interesting. I feel like I can move mountains. I also feel taller. Way taller, he thought to himself. His focus shifted towards a specific R as he felt a familiar energy source accompanied by 4 other people. As on cue, Sarutobi arrives. Naruto-kun, Sarutobi yelled. Sarutobi lands and looks at Naruto in shock. Standing before him was not the short 4-inch kid that looked skinny as he remembered. Before him now is a man standing at 5 feet 6, clothes torn clearly showing the amount of muscle on him. Even breathing or moving any body part slightly, Sarutobi and the other 4 ninja were able to see every muscle move under very little strain. Even some of the women that accompanied the Hokage Zanbu couldn't help but blush red and have a slight nosebleed. He did look a lot older, especially a purple-haired shinobi. Sarutobi was snapped out of his stupor when he heard Ohio GG. Sarutobi cracks a slight smile hearing the grandfatherly term being used, as he knew only person called him that. Naruto-kun, what happened to you? Why do you like you're a young adult? Sarutobi said. Ah yes GG, matters on this issue shall be discussed in your office away from prying ears, Naruto said referring to the Anbu. Sarutobi looked at him in mild shock yet again. Where was the little hyperactive blonde that shouts and is impatient and yelling to Tebeo? The person talking to him here seemed very calm, cool and very collected. Snapping out of thought yet again, Sarutobi looked at him. Okay Naruto-kun, let's head back to my office, and with that they left Sarutobi's office. Over the course an hour and a half Naruto explained to him that he was first looking for food, then up to where he got cornered and attacked. As he finished, everyone in room knew Sarutobi was mad if the rise of his killing intent indicated anything. After he calmed down, Naruto told him how he fell in a ditch and met Aizen after touching a rusted door, and lead on to explaining Aizen's past and the Hagioku merging with him explaining his appearance. Sarutobi pinches the bridge of his nose, eyes closed, feeling a migraine come on. Kami, first paperwork, and now this story of Naruto's. Although from what he told me, he might be able to surpass his father and me if trained right. Should I tell him? I want to inquire on his newfound abilities, and I'll see if he could be capable enough of defending himself when he learns the secret. Sarutobi snaps his eyes open and asks. Naruto-kun, what type of abilities or powers have you obtained since the merge? Naruto tries to remember what Aizen said but was interrupted in mid-thought when he hears his voice. Naruto-kun. Aizen-san. Yes, it is me. Tell your GG that you will have an exceptional boost in power and speed. Not only that, you have somewhat retained my intellect, so learning things and mastering them will be easy like the justus you guys use. Aizen continues. Also, you will be able to access Ryastu, which is the spiritual part of chakra, making your moves in the Shinigami art way more powerful than any justu. And lastly, my sword. Although it has a name, you have to be able to hear it through training and meditation to use it. But what the sword's special ability is complete hypnosis over an opponent. You will be able to control all 5 senses of a person. You can practically attack and kill without them knowing they are an illusion. You get that, Naruto-kun? Naruto-kun. Little did Aizen know Naruto was sitting there wide-eyed and his jaw almost hitting the floor. After being explained everything he can have in terms of ability by Aizen, Naruto was practically drooling at the thought at how powerful he can become. After a while, Naruto picked up his jaw and asked Aizen. Aizen-san. Aizen quickly interrupted. Naruto-kun, you shall refer to me as Aizen-sensei from now on, since I will be training you tomorrow. Naruto responded. Okay, Aizen-sensei, should I tell him everything you told me? Aizen thought about it. Yes, tell him everything except the ability of your sword. That will be your trump card, but knowing since we merged you will eventually use it to show who's more dominant. Aizen finished with a smirk. Cutting the connection momentarily, Naruto fixed his eyes on Sarutobi and told him everything he acquired. Sarutobi for the moment looked like his jaw was about to snap off any second as he was hearing this godlike power Naruto had acquired. Well, at least I can tell him about Kyuubi and his heritage now. Please forgive me, Naruto-kun, for being an old fool, he thought. The Sandaime cleared his throat to get Naruto's attention. Naruto-kun, I think it's about time I told you about your parents and Kyuubi. XX. XX. So what do you guys think for the first chapter? Comment, follow, review or favorite.